So my name is Rajveer Singh Bawal. I am 26 years old and I am a teacher in special needs for maths, PE and science.
Josh Williams, I'm 21 years old and I'm a full-time psychology student.
Okay, my name is Vivian Joseph Dorado and I'm 21 and I study mechanical engineering at the University of Derby.
I'm Jake Robinson, I'm 21 years old and I'm in third year studying media production at the University of Derby.
I'm Ben Hall, I'm a third year media production student at the University of Derby and I'm 21 years old.
And tell me what your stance is on the possibility of an afterlife.
I don't believe there's an afterlife. I think when you die that's just it and you become worm food and there's just darkness, there's nothing after you die.
So, being an atheist, I don't think an afterlife exists at all.
It has to exist. You don't just live however long you live and then just die and nothing happens. Your physical body might die, but your soul, your physical soul has to go somewhere. It has to do something else.
Well, for me, I'm personally a non-believer. I just think once you die, the lights go off and it's just, yeah, it just goes blank. I think people really, they just created this sense of an afterlife just to give a sense of hope, you know, so that they're not lost after.
I would call myself a believer. I believe in the afterlife.
It's possible that the afterlife exists.
Oh. Well, I've sat down because there could be a small percentage. But as I said in my opening argument, I'm open to evidence. So that's why I can't be completely closed off.
Yeah.
Because then that would contradict what I've said before.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a lot of different views. Hopefully some good arguments, stuff like that.
I don't know if this would be evidence, but this is a story my mum told me. She's told it me a few times. So back, it was probably late 80s, early 90s. So before I was born, she went to America, stayed there for a few months. And back then, you didn't need to wear seatbelts in cars. It wasn't the law. You just get in the car, just do it. So she didn't. And then there was just this one day where she just out the blue decided, I'm just going to put it on. And that was the day, crash. And if she didn't have it on, through the window. So for me, for her saying this, she would say if there was someone watching down on her, just telling her, put it on, something bad's going to happen. And she just did it without thinking, and it happened. I think a lot of people disagree because they don't have the evidence for it. Not that there is a lot of evidence for an afterlife, and I know people would be like, show me hard evidence for this. That would be the main one. But I also feel like some people just don't want to believe. They don't want to be part of that group. They might think it's cool to not believe and just be like, that's it, you go.
Well, it's just a little bit like considering that you have a physical human body which might end up dying and going into the earth and feeding the worms or whatever else. But then you've got a soul that lives. So it depends how you define how you live. I live in the future. I hope I live within my parents, and then their lives live within me, and my life will live within my kids and the people that I influence and teach and educate. And so in reality, it's what you define as living in your afterlife, because you might your physical heartbeat might survive a certain amount of time, but it's what you do while you're alive that impacts how you actually live in the future generations, because you might be forgotten, or you might just do something so wonderful for a variety of people that you think, actually, you know what, this person deserves to live that little bit longer, and they're living in thoughts, but then their soul is also living with the people that they've influenced. People might disagree because it doesn't make scientific sense. The thing with religion is religion is okay, but science exists. And then what science can't explain, religion exists, and that's the belief in a Sikh religion.
To be fair, I mean, what you said about your mom having a near-death experience, I feel like things happen for a reason, sometimes, and I know, like, if you think about it, I feel like there is someone or something, working or just doing something to, create these situations where, we are led to believe that, there is some entity out there. But still, then again, I feel like an afterlife would be, see, here's how I think about it. So if you live forever, life's going to get boring. You know what I mean? It's just going to get really plain. You're going to experience everything. If you go to an afterlife, you're going to get what you want or what you don't want, but it's just going to go on forever. And I feel like that's what makes it, unbelievable, to be fair. Because I feel my personal view is like, time is limited. It's meant to be spent. And yeah, you just crash after. So yeah, that's what I think. The thing with life is it's limited. It's meant to be spent, and people created the sense of an afterlife just to give them a sense of hope, or just to make themselves feel good. Really, that's just my opinion. But yeah,
I think coming from a more science-like based background, it's all very much judged on evidence, in my opinion. So we have tangible evidence, like science, stats, physics, that kind of thing. And I don't think having that worldview fits into this idea of having an afterlife. Like, I think it's interesting said about the soul and not how there's a body and a soul.
Yeah.
Like, so do they interact, or is it are they two separate things, your physical body and your soul, or what's? I think people need it. So some people, well, we did need it. It kind of helps the idea that I think knowing that you're gonna, life does end. It can cause some real anxiety, and people need that to carry on. Well, some people do, as I say, but yeah, it's just we need it.
And so when they say when you get married, you have two souls that come together and become the one soul. So, for instance, my wife has the other half of my soul. So that would be how you become that one marriage. And when I feel pain, she feels pain. And when she feels happy, I feel happy. And that's not anything to do with the afterlife as much, but it is a sense of how you live as a person and how that soul combines. And so, God forbid if she dies, you can imagine a world without her would be very, very challenging. And, to say that you just sort of live until you're 18 and you just die. What about people that don't get to that age? What about people that die at 30 or die at 20? Right. What about the footballers that die in the field at 22? Do you reckon they just die and that's it, done?
Or even kids dying, at an early age.
I fear death.
Well, I mentioned this in the last one, but it's probably the main anxiety I get, and it does cause heart palpitations, just lying in bed at night, just alone with my thoughts. I get anxious, then it sets that off, and then this is it.
Yeah.
So it sets me off a lot, and mainly and like I said in the last round question, I just fear upsetting people, missing people out, and not fulfilling my life to the fullest. So it's too early.
I think everyone has that same sort of fear, I would think.
See, I think this comes from a more selfish, not I say selfish aspect, but I like my life, you know what I mean? I don't think I say fear. I think that's a bit much to say that, but I don't think it comes from the fact that there's nothing after. I think it's just the fact that I like living now, you know what I mean? Like, I enjoy, you know what I mean? Living for myself.
I fear missing living rather than death.
Yeah,
because everyone dies.
That's a great way.
It's more you just don't want life to end.
But does it keep any of you up at night?
I wouldn't say no. I think you just have to accept it, or you will.
But I have not accepted it yet.
Because you'll just go.
No, the thing is, it happens to me occasionally. Like when you're deep in thought and you're thinking about it, and you're just like, wow, so there's really not going to be anything to look forward to.
And you just think about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like you just think about just us as a species, and then go out of everything. It's just we're just so finite.
Exactly. Yeah.
But again, I think that stems from another sort of evolutionary market, the idea of self-preservation. That as people, we want to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, you know, there are cases, but evolutionary standpoint, because very much believe in evolution, that kind of sense. We have a self-preservation mechanism. We want to live. You know what I mean? And I think to disagree with that, you know what I mean? It should cause anxiety, because you want to preserve yourself and present it with situations which may affect that. Yeah, it should cause anxiety, you know, but I don't think that should stop you living your life, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, like, dying is scary, but I personally feel like it's a good thing, because you're going to give a lot more humans a chance to live and grow on this earth. And that's also something you have to consider, you know, in the future. You can't always, you know, all of us would love to live, like, forever, you know, but you just gotta, you know, step up sometimes, give other people a chance. Otherwise, you know, we all won't be able to live on Earth. There are talks about going to Mars and creating a whole civilization there, but I mean, that's only going to be the future. That depends again, you know. Probably people might be able to live forever in the future, you know, creating like a you know, artificial organ, or like an artificial like liver, or a set of lungs which, you know, can be replaced or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you know, living forever, we have to die at some point, and it's always important to, you know, not feel bad about it, but feel good about it, because you're gonna give other people a chance to experience what you've experienced.
So rather than a fear of death, I think it's more a fear of dying in a painful way, or something like that. Because we all have to. As you said, if you did live forever and you're immortal, eventually you would have done everything that you could have done. So you probably would have.
But there's always new stuff to do.
I'm not scared of dying. I don't. It's just one of them things. It has to happen. It's just with the self-contentment. If you've got Mansun talking Punjabi, if you've got that, then what are you worried about? It's going to happen eventually, but it's how you've lived your life. And you know, you might not have got where you wanted to, or the age you wanted to, but in reality, if your time is written before you're born, and it's written, then it's written. There is nothing you can do about it. You know, everybody wants to die in a peaceful way in reality, but you can't be scared of it. It's going to come one day, you know, and when it does, I'm hopefully in a stage of life that has allowed me to experience an awful lot of things. And, you know, I've managed to impart that knowledge on my future bloodline, which then carry everything that I've taught them, and carry me, that make me live a little bit longer in their ways of living and their thinking and their processes, you know. So yeah, I'm not scared of it, no, because it's just one of them things, isn't it?
Went really well, to be fair. No fights, we all listened, and everyone had some really valid points. Like, no one was passive. We all spoke what we believed, and we all respected it, and I've took a lot on board, to be fair.
Yes, I'm going to get baptised tomorrow. No, I'm only joking. No, I think I'm still open to the possibility. As I said, if they came out, God isn't real, the scientists said, or God appeared in the sky, then I would switch. But no, without the hard evidence, I'm going to stick on that there is no afterlife.
I think I can understand why people believe what they believe, and of course, with the more you know, the more you are open to the idea of it, of changes. You know, in terms of my personal belief, I still believe what I believed to begin with. It's just nice to see other people's perspectives should they arise in a debate anywhere else in the future.
I wouldn't say surprised as such, but how strong people are in their views. Like, I think that's something that's really interesting, you know, like how people do follow it, and I think that's amazing that they do, that they're not so lackadaisical thinking from one to the other. Like, that's really interesting.
It's definitely opened up. Like, I feel less fearful now, you know, of dying, or you know, because everyone's gonna die. We all have that thing in common, so it's good to share and talk about it.
That was interesting.
We're doing a lot of different tangents.